In the shop today, tractors, Case model 311. Don't know what year it is, but it doesn't matter because I don't really even have the tractor here. I do have the head. So this engine was running low compression, having a couple little issues, and right away the owner took it apart and found that it had a broken valve spring. So I'm going to go ahead, take it apart the rest of the way and inspect the engine. So things that you're going to want to have, something to measure things with. Make sure you got some paper and pen to write stuff down. I always make sure I got some baggies and a Sharpie so that I can put stuff into bags. I don't want to get anything, lose anything, mixed anything up. And then the valve spring compressor. So this manual is excellent. It's got all the specs for the valves, what to check, how to check it. Right away, we find in the book that Case says to make a little bar that is going to hold the valve train together, or the rocker arm assembly, I should say, together when we take it off. So these bolts are what we're going to be taking off, and what we don't want is these little springs to push everything apart so all this falls apart. So I'm not building the little bar like they recommend. I'm just going to take safety wire, go around one end to the other end with safety wire, hold it all together that way. I've got the first one out. Big thing to do is watch for these little clips. You do not want to lose those, and I like to keep them with whatever valve they were with. So now we'll just back it off. That one's loose and ready to disassemble. So, other thing, this engine has these, which I can't, I'll put the name in. It seems like it's like a roto valve. But this is to actually spin the valve slightly. So the exhaust valves on the older engine, it could burn it up. And so if it turns a little bit each time where it touches the seat the next time, so it just kind of spreads it out and it doesn't overheat in one particular spot. That was how it was explained to me. The intake valves, as you can see, do not have them. So other things to do, like I said, I like to just set each piece out so that it's one whole unit in line with where it needs to be. I will also a lot of times draw right on my cardboard as I go with a Sharpie, but for right now, for disassembling them, we're going to be all right to do it this way. So. Time to press out the valve guides. So as you can see, I already popped one, came out pretty easy. I went ahead and blocked it up with some nice big square stock so that I'm as close as I can be to each valve guide so that I don't put any pressure on the head. So I'll set you up and we'll press these out. Okay, that popped out no problem. Okay, well I have the valve guides out and the head is sitting real nice and flat. I'm gonna go ahead and just check it. Okay, straight across, we're good. I'm going to say that that is good. Another nice way to do it is if you take it along the edge and you don't see any light. That's also a real good, quick, fast way to check it first, but feeler gauge is much more accurate. Okay, so I have had the valve guides in the freezer actually for several days now. I stuck them in there as soon as I got them. That way it shrinks them up a little bit and they press in. So I'll take you over there and we'll get some pushed in. Okay, so you see I've got this nice little piece of just basically 3/4 inch rigid conduit. What I did is put it over it. It's cut to the size or very close to the size that these need to be recessed. So you just put that over your hole Get your valve guide kind of lined up. There you go. That's as tight as it needs to be. And so using this technique, every valve guide should come out almost exactly the same. Looks like we're good with the machinist straight edge on it. I'm going to go back now and just take my micrometer and measure every one, make sure that they're all pretty much close. But just looking at how these are sitting on my straight edge, I'd say that I'm pretty nice on my depth. So we'll give that a quick measurement and make sure it looks good. Okay, since everything measured out, it looks good. I don't have to mess around with resetting everything. I'm going to go ahead now and take my Reamer. I believe this one was 0.343. And so that is going to now open these up to the correct diameter. So here we go. All right, the next thing we need to do is grind the valve seats. And so that's what this is. This is an old Sioux valve grinder. Seat grinder actually is what all this does. I have the valve grinder in the shop, but since they're brand new, we're gonna go with it. They are good. Here is the correct guide. And so we put it in, let's take it and we give it a little twist, and that's going to lock that in and hold it nice and tight. So this is the stone that we'll be using to grind our valve seats. So we put it on this, we set it, we got it right here set to 46 degrees, and then we use it with our little, we'll put the motor on here in just a second, but then we just take that and we grind it off. And we make sure that this stone is set to 46 degrees. Just a couple little drops of oil. Or one big squirt. You know, whatever works. There we go. That seemed better. Now look at that stone. That's just right for grinding. And so basically you can see how the stone sets in there, and it's going to take a little bit of this material off the edge. Now we got to get down though to the original seat. So I'll show it to you in a couple stages, hopefully, and so you can see it. Okay, so you can kind of see right there where it's starting to get a little shine. That's where I'm actually grinding, so I'm not even close to the seat yet. Okay, I'm starting to take a little bit of material out of the top there, but I'm still not down to the actual seat. Not yet. Okay, just starting to touch the seat right now. We'll give this just a little bit. So you can see it's grinding on this side of the seat, but not so much the other side. You might not be able to see that where you're at. Now it's important not to grind too deep, because then you'll end up getting the valve out of location where it needs to be. Let me reset that pin. It jumped out a little bit on me. There we go. Hit. Okay, we do. So I've got a little fresh grind all the way around. So it's important to use something like this Prussian blue so that you can actually see the contact surface that your valve has to the seat. So when we look at the intake valves though, the intake valves are a 30-degree grind. So we're going to have a different stone to do the intake valves. Something you want to make sure you don't get any lapping compound on the shaft of the valve, because then you could grind actually your brand new guide. So you don't want to do that. So just use a little caution. Okay guys, we are going to lap now the valves. So we just get our suction cup, find the right one, get it on there. As long as you hear it kind of grinding, when it smooths out, you know it's pretty done. Did you hear how it changed? Okay, we're going to say that one is done. So now we have to make sure that we leave the valves with the hole. Everything's been done with coarse, which if you get a little kit like this, it tells you. So now we'll flip the can over, we'll use the red, we'll run everything again, so I'm not going to show you all that over again. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you with these awesome words. A poor valve grinding job cannot be improved by valve lapping. So, I may have missed a few steps when I was doing it as far as my videos go, and if I did, I apologize. But take your time on these. It's important to get everything kind of right, but if you do it correctly, you should have a good motor, good compression, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please put down in the comments if you've done a job like this before, or what you've done, what you did differently, what different tools you have. It's always awesome to hear how other people are doing stuff, and we can all learn something from each other. Thanks again.